What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my vlog, Behind the Colors. I'm your host, Syrus'Blake. And before we get started, I need you guys to do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the bottom, as well as hitting that bell so you guys can be notified when I upload new videos. Because who doesn't want to be notified when I upload new videos? Fucking shit. Let's get into it. I decided to do a video for Worldwide Suicide Prevention Day, which was September 10th, yesterday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a video out yesterday because I had some life things to handle. Unfortunately, shit happens. But I also feel like suicide, mental health itself is something that we're affected by every day. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in the United States. I feel like it should not just be focused on one day of the year or 1 week out of the year or 1 month out of the year, because people don't only kill themselves 1 day out of the year. We don't suffer 1 day out of the year. So what does it matter that I'm a day late, right? Fuck it. I think that there's like this really big misconception that high functional people don't suffer from mental illness, that they're more psychopaths than anything because they're so high functioning that they just deal, but I think that's bullshit. That's a crock of bullshit. I think there's people out there that go to work every day. There's people out there that live their lives, singers, basketball players, football players, musicians, fucking gymnasts, NASCAR drivers, lawyers, doctors, businessmen, women, accountant, marketing majors, manager, like everybody out there in the world. Like, there's somebody that is suffering from mental illness that is afraid to speak up because they don't want to be labeled crazy. Now, I get it, because who the fuck wants to get more labels added to them when you're already, in my case, if you're already an African American, but and you're a part of the LGBT community, that's 2 major labels right on me, on myself, right, alone, that people just automatically look at, and I'm like a fucking degenerate and scum of the earth, So why would I want to open up about something that could give me another label and then deem me as fucking unfit for society, or just unfit to do things, and just fucking crazy, or give me labels that I don't deserve, So I get why people don't speak up, but it's time to speak up. It's time to break the stigma. It's time to spread awareness. It's time to let people know that this shit is real, and that just because you may function on a higher level than other people, you still suffer. You are still entitled to be heard. You're entitled for people to listen to you. You're entitled to speak up. You're entitled to it all, just like the person who is not high function, just like they're entitled to still be treated like they are high functioning with respect, not just because they're not their mental illness. We're not our mental illness. So I feel like we need to spread awareness on this, man. Speak up. Speak up. It's time to speak up. It's time to stop being afraid, stop being scared of what other people are going to think about you, because fuck them. At the end of the day, no one else is living your life but you. No one's living my life but me. Yeah. So, a little background on myself. 29 years old, non-binary individual. I'm from Springfield, Mass. I suffer from mental illness of my own. Bipolar type 2, anxiety, PTSD, and severe depression. I was diagnosed in 2011. I would say 2011 was a pretty hard year for me, with being diagnosed and not understanding what I was diagnosed with. Like, hell, I still barely understand it. I have little bit of fucking knowledge about it, and I try to run with that knowledge and further my knowledge with it, but it's like science. Every day there's a new discovery, so I will be reading constantly to keep up with all the different discoveries on mental illnesses, or just certain types like anxiety or PTSD, or where trauma comes from. Like, I will be reading forever, and I have other things to focus on than to really just, sit there and do that. So, but I'm glad that I know what I know now versus 8 years ago when I didn't know shit. pretty ignorant to it. I want to tell you guys a quick story about something that I went through, and I'm not gonna be long. I won't take a lot of your time because I don't really care for long videos. So here it is. On December 22nd of 2013, I attempted to commit suicide. I was in the house alone. It was 4 days before my birthday. My grandmother just had left the 21st or 20th to go down to Georgia to visit my mother for the holidays. I don't know why I didn't go, but yeah, I just didn't go. And yeah, I attempted suicide on that day. This is like the first time me really openly talking about the situation because I was embarrassed about it. I didn't want people to know that I tried to commit suicide. I didn't want people to know that those were thoughts on my mind because I just didn't want people to know. I didn't want to be judged, and I didn't want labels. I didn't want other labels, and aside from the ones that I already had, you know, I didn't want people to look at me and stop talking to me, but that happened anyway. So here we are. So yes, on December 22nd of 2013, I attempted to commit suicide. I downed a bunch of pills and alcohol, and it was an experience. It was definitely an experience. I remember a really good friend of mine at the time. He called me. I do remember the phone call. I don't remember what the phone call entailed. I don't even remember how. I'm gonna go on a limb here and just throw it up. Assume that he maybe asked me what I was doing, and I'm guessing I told him because less than 5 minutes later, I just heard banging on my door, like banging. It was a really faint banging, but you guys can't see, but I'm in the basement, so there's a window right here, and that banging, then it came around to this side of the house. So then, you know, obviously I fucking heard it. It's right here in the window, but I don't know how I was able to walk from down the basement to upstairs, the first floor, to open the door for him to take me to the hospital because I was so out of it. Like, I know for a fact that I maybe took 20 pills or more, and had a few beers, had some nibs. I was going to town, a whole fucking party by myself, and it wasn't an accidental thing. It was purposely done. I took all the medications with an intent to not survive. So yeah, I remember faint. I remember little details in and out because I was really like in and out, like really bad. I remember getting to the hospital, and I can't remember if I was on the bed already or if I was in like a wheelchair. I don't remember which one it was. I do remember there was just massive fucking scrubs around me, just different color scrubs. Scrubs all the fuck around me, and my body was cold. Like, it was so cold. Like, I had the chills, and I felt my blood dripping through my veins. But it was like I don't know if you ever had an IV, and it's like you just feel the drip, like just like little drip. It was like an IV that I could just feel going through my veins, and it was just shooting, going like just all around. It was like a fucking water hose with water just flowing through my body, but it was cold. It was just like when you watch movies and you see someone facing a near-death experience. You see like their life as, you know, their previous shit that they've done just playing in a timeline. It's like that shit really fucking happened. I really saw myself as a kid riding my bike, skating, and doing all these happy things that then made me not want to die. like it was a really crazy moment. Where it's just like there was just so much going through my head, and I didn't want to die. I regretted it. I regretted the fact that I tried to kill myself, and I ended up in the hospital, and like it was bad. Like I had all these feelings of regret. I had feelings of being a failure because I failed at it, and now everyone's looking at me like, what do we do with this person? Like, do we lock them away? What do we do with them? I don't know how to answer that question. Like, I don't know what they should have done with me, but they let me go home because I woke up and I lied. I told them that I mixed up my medications, which anybody in their right motherfucking mind, if you have to give me that charcoal shit to make me drink it so that I can throw up or get whatever is out of my system that's out, if you have to give me that, do you really think I mixed up my drugs? Like, that was purposely done. That wasn't an accident. But they let me go home because that's what I said, and obviously they can't not. I mean, they can hold me for 72 hours, but they didn't care to hold me for 72 hours. So I was sent home the next day. And it was probably the worst experience of my life because I lived in the bathroom for 2 whole days. I threw up, I shitted, I had the shakes, and it was horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. My senses were so heightened. I smelled everything. I couldn't smoke. I couldn't. I literally just laid on my bathroom floor crying and throwing up and wishing that I would have died. Even though I had those thoughts of regret in those moments of seeing all those happy moments, those are all happy moments from when I was a kid. So it's like, I didn't remember any of that shit, but seeing it made me feel somewhat hopeful during that moment. But after that experience, after I came back down and after I was sober enough to realize what the fuck I had done and how painful it was to withdraw from all of the fucking drugs that I was taking, I definitely say pro-life is the way to go. For anyone out there that's suffering with suicidal thoughts, don't do it, because it's not worth it. Killing yourself is not worth it when there are so many resources out there and there's so many people out there that you don't even know that's willing to help you. So suicide is always going to be a thought for some of us. It's always a thought for me. Every day when I wake up, I struggle with suicidal thoughts every single day since that day. And I probably will struggle. What the fuck was that? And I probably will struggle with suicidal thoughts for the rest of my life. But it's all in how you deal with those thoughts and whether or not you choose to act on those thoughts. And thus far, I have not chosen to act on them. I may do some unhealthy things at times, but I haven't done those things in a while, which I'm very proud of myself for that. I just wanted to make this video so that you guys know that you're not alone and that whatever you're going through, you can face it. Whether you're facing it with a group, you're going to group therapy, whether you're seeking a therapist, whether you're taking medications, no matter what it may be, you guys can do it and you're not alone. And yeah, my heart goes out to anyone that's out there that has lost someone to suicide, because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But you guys continue to be great, and I love you guys all. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit that bell below. I'm Syrus'Blake, and I'm outie.